Good morning, everyone, and welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It is Friday, TGIFF, and it is a reckless Friday. So reckless that it's just me and Kazi. Kazi, what's happening?
Anything could happen when it's this reckless. Nah, man, I'm good. All good. It's, Easter weekend, which is always a nice weekend because it's always good football. So I'll take it.
Oh, is that why I was going to say, is there anything special that the Cosgrove
Well,
household does that they don't do on a regular Easter?
Easter in the UK is slightly different because you get the Friday and the Monday off for Easter in the
Okay.
UK. So I used to do what Jesus did, was fuck off on Friday and come back Monday. But unfortunately, I can't do that anymore. I can't do what Jesus did. He just went out for a bender for a few days and came back on the Monday. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I used to do. So unfortunately, so
Do the 4-day weekend.
yeah, it's always a special place in my heart. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't beat in the UK a Thursday night when Easter weekend. The Thursday night was so special because it was guys who finished work knowing you've got 4 days off, and it's like
Yes.
we're going hard on this Thursday night because I've got 4 days to get over this. So yeah, I do miss
That's
that.
funny you mentioned that Fridays off in UK. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. I don't know why it is not here.
On Monday, you used to get the Monday off. It was fucking fantastic. What a weekend! You used to get your fixtures and go like that Sunday United City. That's like fucking hell. Sunday's a big day. Like let's go out Thursday, have a big day, do the family shit on the Saturday, and then Sunday. You know what I'm saying? It's like big back a day again. But yeah.
That might have been the line of the Dingus Day is Monday. Yes, we're trying to still revive Dingus FC. We didn't get around to that. A lot to get to too, actually, this morning. A lot of news to cover. Obviously, the press conference is there. So let's start with this that everybody's losing their shit over, and I'm losing my shits over people losing their shits. So this is from the press conference. Long story short, had a very good meeting with the decision makers. It's like the powers that be. And I decided to stay at Bayer Leverkusen. Feel this is the right place to develop as a coach. I have to feel it. And right now, I feel this is the right place. My job is not over in here, says Xavi. I'm assuming in that meeting, the powers that be said, yes, we're not going to sell everybody to Bayern, kind of an overdeal in the offseason. But one way or the other, I mean, I don't understand, like, some people just like losing it. Because honestly, is it just me, dude, that if it wasn't an ex-player, if it wasn't Alonso and it was Fernando Fernandez, aside from having a really catchy name, I mean, you would not care and you would not look at the resume as like, if you don't get this guy, we're doomed.
I agreed in that sense. I think what Liverpool fans we want, and I don't know about yourself, but you want the like. I think every club is trying. Let me reword this. Every club is trying to think about the next big thing, and can they get the next big manager? Can they get the next Pep Guardiola? Like this young manager comes in and and everyone sees Alonso as that right now. Like Arteta, for example, everyone kind of seen Arteta as that could be for the Arsenal, and do you know what I mean? I think that's what fans were kind of hoping for as well. My decision on this one, mate, what I think is that I think he's kind of bottled it a little bit. I think he's bottled it, and I'll tell you why. Like I want to develop as a coach, and I completely understand all that as well. But there's also a part after 6 months of Bayern next year, he gets sacked, and then the Liverpool job never comes up again. And the fans who say, "Well, you might be waiting for Real Madrid," okay, that's fair. Real Madrid have had 28 managers since I was born. Liverpool have had 8. So for context, if you want a project and you need to build time and you know what I mean, you want to be given time. Liverpool doesn't come around often. Liverpool is a very rare opportunity to become the Liverpool manager, and he knows how we idolise managers. Like it was all on Rafa when we won the 05 Champions League. Fella. It wasn't on the players. It wasn't on the shitheads he had starting like Balos and Garcia and Kuhl and stuff. It wasn't on them. It was on the manager, and he understands that. So for me, I don't want to say he's bottled it as such, but it's more like he took the easy route a little bit and say, I want to stay at Bayern and learn and stuff like that. And I understand your point. He probably has sat down and said, what's the plan in the summer if I win this league? And what if I don't win the league? I know they should win the league because they're nearly there, and I get it. There's also a part, he doesn't want to walk into that meeting and go, well, we've won this fucking league, lads. Any chance? He's not going to think like that. He wants to say, what happens if we win the league and what happens if we don't win the league? So we'll see. I don't know, mate.
I almost feel like he's waiting for the Real job. And if that's his mode, and he was going to use Liverpool for 2-3 years before the Real Madrid job opens anyway, this could be better in the long run. And I understand, obviously, like the Real job is always appealing. And I know what you mean in terms of like the number of managers they go through, because the expectations is a lot high and the patience is a lot lower. But that's mainly because you're walking into a situation. He might go there. He might have Bellingham, Mbappe, and God knows Haaland or something like that. Have like a ridiculous squad. So the expectations will be high regardless, I would think.
But there's and the expectations should be higher at a club like Real Madrid, but the expectations are higher at Liverpool. But the difference is at Real Madrid is that you're not asked if you win La Liga or not. You got to win the Champions League. That's literally it. They don't care. Jose Mourinho won the league there, and I think his record was insane, and he just fucked them off. Do you know what I mean? Because they were just like, I don't really care. I think I checked it before. I think Mourinho lost 22 games out of like 178. And he fucked them off because he hadn't won the Champions League. So you got to win the Champions League. So I just feel like the Real Madrid, whether you come to Liverpool for 10 years, the Real Madrid job's always going to be there. Rafa got the Real Madrid job. So the Real Madrid job would always be there. The Bayern Munich job would always be there anyway, even if you come to Liverpool. But you have a chance to go back and be at Liverpool for 8 to 10 years and build something, and then still go to those clubs anyway.
Yeah.
Because those jobs, but the Liverpool opportunity doesn't always come around to. At Liverpool, you will get 3 years at Liverpool as long as we're consistently in a place where we want to be.
But don't you also think it's a kind of a, not squad-wise, but in terms of the guy you're going to follow, it's a very tricky time to become a manager.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
But he's following Carlo Ancelotti, who just wins the Champions League all the time. Isn't that
different? That's true too. I mean, that guy is like just chilling and winning. And speaking of chilling, look who is finally here making an appearance on a Friday out of his busy schedule.
I was in the backstage waiting, but listen, no, the debate. You know what's gonna piss off Alonso? When next season he's waiting for the Madrid job and they call Jurgen Klopp and he's like, okay, yeah, I'll take the job. I had a year off and I don't mind, working here. And he's gonna be like, wait, seriously, I fucked off the Liverpool job for this. And that's gonna be funny because I don't think Madrid is not gonna go for. I think Madrid's gonna go for Jurgen next year. Ancelotti's contract runs out, and Madrid will fully put everything they got to go for Klopp. It's something they've tried to do previously, and now by the end of the season. He's ready to go. He's going to have a year off. Ancelotti's contract runs out. Madrid's going to do everything they can to go for Jurgen.
See, I just don't see the Real Madrid job as a Klopp job.
It's not.
They're going to go for him. They're going to go all out.
I mean, they would go for him because they'll pay and they'll go after and they feel like they can get whoever. I just don't think it fits them.
They'll go for him like I go for Margot Robbie. Yeah. Like you can try what you like.
I think you got a chance. I think you got a chance, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like we're going for him because of that. But I don't think Klopp fits. I think Klopp just actually wants to be a granddad. I genuinely have you seen that picture of him down in Cornwall with his kid, and he's got the kid in the sack in this international break, and I just think he's loving being a granddad. And you're like, you know what? I've fucking made me though. I've done everything. I'm fucking done. I think the only one that tempts Jurgen back is the Germany national team. Because I think you get 12 weeks off in between just watching footy.
Yeah, it's
and the stress is gone.
Manager rights, if you will.
Your stress is gone, isn't it? There's no stress, really.
Yeah, and if Germany have a shit Euro, there you go. He's got the job.
Well, Nagelsmann's leaving anyway at the end of the Euro, isn't Nagelsmann?
And he wants out. Yeah, and he wants out. He wants a club job.
Say, listen, just get someone in for 12 months, and I'll come and see you next year. Do you know what I mean? And then he's got a year to find out his best team before the World Cup. So I think that's the only one that kind of tempt him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. The Alonso one's interesting. If he wants to go to Real Madrid, I've got no problem at all. Go and enjoy yourself. But if you think Liverpool's pressure, mate, wait till you go to Real. And he knows. He knows.
Well, he knows. Yeah. He's been there. Yeah, he knows.
He knows. But listen, getting a tune on a fucking Bellingham and Mbappe is not difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not difficult to get those lads playing. They'll play for you. So, I don't know, mate. I've got no problem at all. But what's successful for Real Madrid?
Honestly, if he wanted to take the easiest route, though, let's be honest, it was probably the Bayern job.
Yeah, if Bayern, okay.
Right? I mean, in terms of, not having to, try to duplicate it at Leverkusen. And, he can go to Bayern and probably get a couple of those guys coming over from Leverkusen with him to Bayern, right? Yeah. and he would probably easily win. And we're getting info that you have some weird feedback coming from your mic there, Anan.
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yes, you're kind of echoing a little bit.
Yeah. But going on that, don't we, while Anan sorts his mic out, I get that with the buying thing, but he might not want to ruin his reputation with Leverkusen and go, oh, yeah, you just wanted the league and now you're fucking us off, because that's what Bayern doing with it, like what Bayern did with Dortmund, for example. And, do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So
I'm just saying, like, if he wanted to go easiest route.
Yeah, yeah, that's an argument. That's fair, I think. But again, it comes down to, if he wants to think he can grow as a manager and he's basically not ready for it, that's absolutely fine. But then there's also that part of opportunity knocks, because the job might never be there for you. Right now, you're hotter than shit based on 18 months of football. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
18 months of football. There's no other backstory that we can throw at. Do you know what I mean? But in 3 years, he might not be the hottest shit. He might go, fuck me, he had a couple of jobs now, he's been bounced around a little bit and Liverpool don't want him. Look at Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard was hotter than shit at Rangers, and we were like, fucking hell, he could be the next...
To be fair, I was even saying it back then that I did not really... I mean, we talked about it a lot then. The conversation back then was Linders versus Gerrard, you know, like once Klopp leaves. And this, honestly, the main reason I do not want an ex-player is I really feel like whenever an ex-player is a manager, it clouds the judgment. You're doing a lot more on their base. You know what I mean? You like fans can't separate the player dude and the manager guy as much. So everything is evaluated differently because, you know, his player career is in the background of your thinking and it affects it. Sometimes they get more time and sometimes they maybe get time that they should not, I feel like, just because for fans, not for the club. I don't think the clubs could care less.
Yeah. I mean...
How are we sounding now?
You're sounding the same, man.
Yeah.
There's still feedback?
A little bit. You're just a bit echoey.
Yeah, you're echoey. You sound like
I wonder if it's because of the room. Yeah, I wonder if it's because of the room, because I just put new walls in this room. So that could be it.
Yeah, your room is gotten... like, what do you mean? Like, you put in the bathroom? Because it sounds like you're in the bathroom.
I mean, I do have a spinning. I do have a spinning toilet. Let's see. I don't know
for those emergency moments.
No, I know what you're saying, Tim. Right about the manager thing. I get it, and like the former player, and it's completely valid arguments. But what it does do when you're a former player, especially if you're successful, it buys you time. And Liverpool fans will probably get time anyway at Liverpool, but it also buys you time in that fact. So if Alonso was struggling in his first 5-6 months, people aren't going to go fuck him off. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, because there's that love there where, again, we all need time. The difference is why everyone says that, well, Jurgen got loads of time. Yeah, because we were fucking dog shit.
I think like people say, I've heard that a lot now. Like, it took a while before he started kind of a thing, but it's not. I mean, the squad he took over is going to be a lot different than a squad like Alonso would have taken over.
Exactly. So Liverpool fans are willing to be patient with this man. But there's also parts in Jurgen Klopp's reign. I say this all the time. When people go, we got time. Yeah, but we've seen little things. We went to City and beat them 4-1. We went to Chelsea and beat them 3-1. These are all in his first few games. We go to 2 finals in his first season. So there's stuff that you can see along the way and you go, oh, okay, well, I can see what he's trying to do. So when you have the setbacks like Seville away in the Champions League and you draw 3-3 you have those setbacks and you get beat and stuff like that, but you can see little signs of like, well, I can see what he's trying to do, so that buys you time. But the difference is Liverpool are going to come in, the next manager's going to come in and Liverpool expected to win the league.
But that's what I'm saying, like if Alonso comes in, he knows that, I mean, this is a pretty, I mean, not that Real is not a high pressure job. Real, whenever you go to Real, is a high pressure job. Their squad is never like that bad because they probably forked out like in $500 million and got some, the guys that they were after. But, there is going to be immense pressure compared to when Klopp came over, where he could say, yeah, you should, doubters to believers, it's going to take some time. And we kind of sold, we were sold on the plan, trust the process kind of an ordeal, and we went with it. Whereas now when Alonso comes in, you're like, dude, it's all ready to go. All you have to do is like put it in the microwave and heat it, kind of an ordeal.
Well, that's the argument. The next manager who comes in, the target probably for next season is top 4 in the trophy. We'll give you some time, but it's top 4 in the trophy. Like, it's a minimum. Like, we'd love to challenge for the league next year. Of course we would. But it's top 4 in the trophy. Because we also don't know what's going to happen with the 3 hitters of Van Dijk, Salah and Trent. We don't know. They've got a year left on the deal. So the manager might have to come in anyway and might have to go, fucking hell, we're losing Salah, or we're losing Virgil, which is all possible, by the way. It's possible that, for example, a Real Madrid come in and bid 70 million for Virgil van Dijk. It's not out of the realms of possibility.
How much?
70, 80 million.
Nah, that's too low.
I mean, for a lad you left on his deal, it wouldn't like be. By the way, I wouldn't sell him for 70, 80 million, Tim. I'm not into that.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying
I don't think we would sell him for a 7 because the 70, 80 seems just extremely low.
For the
the
argument is he's got a year left on his deal, and then there's an argument here. Let's just a hypothetical, because that's what the morning show is usually. Hypothetically, Liverpool go on and win the next 2 trophies. We win the Europa League, win the Premier League. Virgil might sit there, got a year left, and Real Madrid want me. Fancy that? I have won 2 Prems. I've won. Why wouldn't he? Do you know what I mean? Could you blame him? No. It's like I can go in and win every game. I'm just. That's all I'm saying. I don't want it to happen. But 70, 80 million with a year left on his deal, 32. Yeah,
Matur says 780 for the 32-year-old.
I've got Konate and Kwanzaa. I can go and get one more big hitter of a centre half. I'm not into it, but that could happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying in terms of like the possibility is definitely there. So I can definitely see that. I just don't feel like, I just don't think it's in the works. I don't think there's that many big changes coming through, especially now that he's a captain for Van Dijk. If anything, I do find a bit more likely because I can see, well, you're in touch constantly with the Saudi league there on. I can see Mo being like one last hurrah or another, like a shot in the arm, kind of like they tried to do with Ronaldo by bringing Mo over there. Is that like something that's talked about in that neck of the woods?
Yeah, so I guess I sound better now, right?
Not really. You sound the same, to be honest. But go ahead.
No, you know what? You've got a near issue. So the Saudi league, actually, all the talk now is about next season, how they're bringing over Salah. They're like, it's not like simple talk. It's about, well, how is Salah going to fit in the league? What kind of marketing the league's going to see when Salah comes here? So they're going for it heavily. But I think Salah has one more season in Liverpool before he heads out. Based on what he's saying and based on his, all his media interaction, it sounds like he's here for one more year. And I think
his contract up?
His contract's up at the end of next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope we don't let that happen, because that's a huge mistake, isn't it? Like letting him play his last year of contract is a huge mistake.
It's that, or he goes to Saudi for $100 million now, and honestly, I'd keep him for that one more season. And I don't think Liverpool will let him run his contract out. Maybe they'll do a 1-year extension, just put a price tag on it. But either way, if we lose him on a free next year, we lose him on a free next year. We've milked it. We've used everything we can on him. But I wouldn't let him go to Saudi this season.
I would never let him. I would let him go on a free. I'm with Anon. I would let him go on a free. That's what he wants to do. First of all, he's earned the right to make the decision of what he wants to do for Liverpool. And number 2, I feel like, as much as you're saying 100 million, Tim, and I get it, but unless Liverpool invest it wisely, how much is Liverpool finishing 5th to finishing 4th for the 100 million? It's completely different. Liverpool, if you go on, by the way, and get to the Champions League final, I think Liverpool, when he got to Paris, I think our Champions League run earned us 350 million. And that's what Mo Salah provides for you, is that opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's how we have kind of like dug ourselves in a little bit when we let everybody start walking out with no contracts and like lost money on it. I feel like if you can get, I do the extension, so I can sell him, but I would not let him play out his contract. I mean, you're basically letting $100 million, $150 million walk out the door.
You're letting 50 goal contributions walk out the door for 100 million.
But that's only for one season. 150 million can buy you players that can take care of you.
Like you said, what if we invested stupidly and there goes the 150 million and the 50 goals?
Don't invest it. That's like saying I'm putting in a CD because I'm going to get guaranteed 2%.
The way I look at it as a Liverpool supporter, we get the 100 million or not, it's not going in my pocket. So, listen, I get it. Like, when we look at it like in a vision where we care about the club, but I'd rather get the 50 goals this season. I'd rather get the contributions. If he goes on a free at his age next season, I'm okay with it. And he's going to Saudi. It's not like he's going to Man City where we're like, oh no, we lost him on. He's going to Saudi. So
I don't
I'm good
want you
with
guys managing my portfolio anytime soon.
All I'm saying is, right, hear me out here for a second. The 3 players who've replaced our front 3, Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo, and then you can look at Darwin Núñez and even Jota. Are they better than the front 3 originally? So how do you trust these lads to go and replace Mo Salah? I'd rather have the guaranteed goals than let's see what happens for the year.
Yeah, but there's no guaranteed goals. There's no guaranteed health. What if like Mo gets injured? Now you blew out 120 million. Okay, okay. So me saying what if Mo gets injured, and you guys saying what if we spend the money wrong? Okay, like two can't play that game.
But what's more likely? Because Mo's track record of injury, apart from this one,
well, doesn't that increase the chance that he might start getting injured because he has never been injured?
He's had a small hamstring injury.
No. I'm not talking about this year. I'm just saying I almost feel like maybe that's me being paranoid. But the more we talk about a player never getting hurt, the more likely that they are going to get hurt now because based on
we're good.
Bro, exactly. All I'm saying is that Mo Salah is basically pretty much guaranteed 50 goal contribution this season. And you're letting her walk out the door for 100 mil, and you might finish 5th that year. And then you've lost 100 mil.
How would you guys eventually, man, we went from like a manager to like replacing people now too. But I mean, I don't know. I guess my point is I understand what you guys are saying, but you're basically buying, like you have to replace more regardless those 50 goals. Okay. You're renting 50 goals for 150 million, and then you have nothing to show for it afterwards.
It's not that there's nothing to show because you might have that big shiny thing standing next to him.
But you might not.
Well, that's the chance you take.
That's football, right? You might not.
But what's the best
chance? Which one is more likely? You're going to win the Champions League just because Mo is there, or you're going to be able to get something for him?
Let me put it this way. How old is Mo going to be by the end of next season?
32.
32, 33.
Yeah.
What is Mo now? Is he 31?
I think so. PSG let Mbappe go on a free at his age now because they wanted to milk Mbappe as much as they can and get the most out of him in hopes of winning the Champions League to get more money before he goes. They didn't. We've got the most out of Mo, and we're going to get one more season out of him. And then he goes on a free at the age of 33 and goes to play in Saudi for 2 years to cash out.
How did you use that PSG example as a good example? That should be the example saying we should sell him because now PSG's not getting shit.
But PSG tried to win everything they can. They went with a system that says this is football. If we keep this guy one more year, we could win the Champions League. We could, and they still might. By the way,
I guess
the conversation is still ongoing, and they're going to let go one of the youngest, talented players in the world because they're banking on him to win another trophy, get the contributions, get the goals. Okay. So why aren't we going to do that with Mo, who's already given us so much?
Okay, 150 million to PSG owners who can do a shady oil deal and another sponsor deal is nothing. It's the same as City. We're not the same thing. That's not the same thing for Liverpool.
But Mbappe is the same. But Mbappe is the one we're talking about. Forget the money. We're talking about Kylian.
Well, we're talking money. I don't care about the player. I'm talking about the money.
But no. You have to care about the player because what the player provides. That's the argument. We can fucking throw any shithead on the right-hand wing, but it's not Mo Salah. So what Mo Salah does, the Liverpool have more chances to win trophies, Tim, with Mo Salah in the team.
But so basically, if I tell you to rent a player for 150 million, you're like, that's cool.
What do you mean? No, that's not rent, is it? First of all,
it is. If I told you next year, okay, hold on. I'm telling you right now, Mbappe is going to come for 1 year for 150 million.
No, what do you mean?
No, I just gave you a minute. 150 million.
No sense.
Mbappe is going to be here for 1 year. 1 year, he's going to come here. Are you taking that deal?
By the way, do we have any idea if Saudi are going to fucking bid 100 million? Any idea at all? No.
Our Saudi Arabian League representative should know the price going for it.
Anan, help me out. Anan, what one number are you? How many clubs in Saudi Arabia can bid 150 million for Mo Salah?
4.
Three.
Is it 3 now? Isn't it
4? It's 3, yeah. So 3. No.
In Saudi Arabia, who will buy Mo Salah for 150 million, never mind $500,000 a week wage.
Yeah.
Right? So what I wouldn't say to you is like you're just doing hypothetically. You've got to look at the goal, what he provides for us.
Okay, I just gave you the same math.
It's not the same math.
I just said Mbappe is coming here for 150 million, but for 1 year. Are you going to take that?
No.
But getting him for 150 million versus letting him go for not getting 150 million.
You're renting him for 1 season. You're renting him for 1 season for that money. Think of it that way.
Renting Mo. He's been here for 7 seasons.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, you guys are dancing around this question over here because you guys don't want to admit that the answer is going to be no.
Because Mbappe's not guaranteed because he's never played in this league or anything. He's not guaranteed.
That's why you're saying no.
Yeah, but Mo Salah's
I'm just saying no based on the principle.
That's a principle because Mo Salah's guaranteed, knows the system, knows the club, been here for years, never let us down. Get on with it, go and win as a Champions League and fuck off if that's what he wants to do. Come on, Tim.
Nah. We got to get something for a player like that. You don't just let him go out the door.
No chance.
I mean, you do an extension or something like that.
I mean, that's in an ideal world. We're not saying no to that. I love that. But if that doesn't happen and we still get that last season out of him, I'm okay with that. That would be 8 seasons, 9 seasons, getting the most out of Mo, putting us in competitions, putting us in the driver's seat. I'll take that.
But you guys don't trust putting like 100. I mean, I'm putting the 150 out of my ass, mind you, and I get that. But you don't trust like giving Edwards 150 million, Kazi, to this is the same guy that built the squad ultimately. You don't trust him giving him 150 million to turn it around?
No.
Really?
No. Not to find 50 goal contributions out of one player. No. I think, listen, you got it right with Mo Salah. I'm not arguing. Completely fair. You got it right with Sadio Mane, Firmino. I'm not arguing that. He's a genius for that. But to get a new Mo Salah for our right-hand side, who's left-footed, by the way, is fucking nigh on impossible in world football right now. And what Liverpool would need to do that thing of, we need to find them in the aggregate. Of like, we need to find 3 players who can get these 3 goals now, these 50 goal contributions.
Nah, yeah, you don't want to do that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So there's an argument. The problem is with Liverpool, they have no natural right-hand side of player. They've got 4 probably who can play on the left.
Yeah, we haven't had at the right side, and we keep buying left for some reason.
And with Jimmy on that, you know what I mean? I don't think Gakpo can do it. I like a left-footed on that side cutting in, but there's not many in world football, Tim, mate. Left-footers like that you can cut in. There's probably Foden, Saka. Do you know what I mean? And you're scraping the barrel, really, aren't you? You know what I mean? I don't watch a lot of Serie A, so I don't know who's playing for Inter Milan right now. I don't. Do you know what I mean? So, Kvaratskhelia, I don't even know if he plays on the right-hand side. I think he's more left. So, I don't know.
I think he's more left. I think he's middle and left.
I think he's struggling as well. The last few months he's been struggling, hasn't he? I think he's been injured. He's been in and out a little bit.
I'll be honest, I don't follow.
Yeah, he has not looked good. He did not look good as he did last season, but he's also got injuries, so to be fair.
So, that's all I'm saying, mate, right? I just think we need to, and get with the money parties, I understand it, but I just don't fit. I just think to have that one last go with these lads, because by the way, Virgil's at the same conversation here. Virgil's Mo Salah's, in my opinion, is the best winger in the world. He's the best player in the Premier League. I love him over De Bruyne. Well, Virgil van Dijk is in exactly the same conversation for centre half.
Yeah.
And they're both in the same position.
70-80 to me did not sound good.
Of course.
But you can't let all of these guys just walk out with not bringing any money either. You have to get something out of your assets.
But I would rather sell Virgil and keep Salah.
Really?
Yeah, all day. So fucking hell, goals are the hardest thing to score in the league. In the
I
game,
understand that, but okay, like if I told you who will in 2 years,
yeah,
I feel like Van Dijk can still give you Van Dijk. I don't know if in 2 years Mo can still give you Mo. Does that make sense? Because
this is what they've been saying about Mo for the last 5 years.
I know. No,
he had a good year, but next year it's not going to be the same, and then he scores more. He's had 3 good seasons, but the Premier League's getting tougher more. And I think, this is what makes him
he was in his like late 20s. I'm talking in 2 years as a winger gets slower and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Whereas as a center back gets slower, he can adjust his game and still be good. I guess that's the angle I'm looking at.
I also don't want to see Virgil van Dijk in 3 years defend on the halfway line.
Well, yeah, he would have to adjust, or we would have to adjust. Yeah,
I hear you. Who's the manager going to be next season? What kind of defensive line is he going to play? I mean, this could all be so different depending on who we get. Because now
Alonso, that's all we know.
We're in with the Sporting Lisbon manager, and he plays 3 at the back. And you're like, so if 3 at the back would help Virgil a lot because he's got 2 pacey lads around him, especially if it's Kwanzaa, because I want to keep Kwanzaa in because I think he's got a level which his ceiling's really high. Kanate, if he's fit. So he's got pace around him, which can protect Virgil. So that might work. So I don't know, mate. It's tough. It's tough. But I'd rather have the goals over the centre half all day.
I just feel like you can get more mileage out of a center back than a
And
winger.
that's completely right, by the way. You are right. You're completely right. You can definitely save a left. You can save a centre half and you can protect them. But goals pay the bills, man.
I'll go with the cliche of the best way to defend is to attack. So I keep the wingers and then the center half.
Trent is the first one out for me between the three.
Whoa!
Those are whenever we said that, we got hammered for saying that, even thinking that, throwing it out there. So
load of garbage. Trent Alexander-Arnold's one of the most gifted football players in the world.
I think again, this really depends on who the manager is, what they're going to do. Like you get somebody who's playing a 3-5-2, and he puts
those loads for Trent. 3-5-2 helps Trent loads.
So that's fine. You know what I mean? Because that kind of like covers you defensively. Yeah. But
am I silly for saying whoever the manager is, you work that team around Trent?
Yes. No.
What are we talking about?
Like?
This guy's one of the most gifted passers I've seen play this game, and I've been watching for a long time. His vision on the ball, he's already a step ahead of where he wants that ball to go. He's not the best defender. That's fine. He's not the greatest defender, but we've had so many players that were so great that weren't the best defenders out there. Exactly. You do not get rid of Trent because he lacks the defensive skills, because he gives you so much more. Like we were talking just a second ago. The goals are coming because when Trent is on the pitch, he's making sure the ball is landing in the right spot. You do not get. Wow.
No, I'm definitely against that, and because to me, it's not that he does not have defensive skills. He does not right now have defensive effort. Will that be different when he plays in a position he is liking or more comfortable with?
Do you guys remember the TGIFF Champions League final when he had Ronaldo on lockdown, when Trent was essentially man marking Ronaldo?
Switch sides. Ronaldo had to go on the left because
he had to switch there though. Now what is the point?
The point is he's a good defender. He's just had a drop in form. That's one. And two, he's got room to improve. He's young. We're not talking about a 34-year-old who's like, this is a hopeless case. He's never going to be a good defender. He's a young player. I still see him as a young player, and I think Trent has that ceiling to be our best player.
I agree. Now, here's another part of this team with the defensive side, right? The manager's asking him to play in fucking centre mid off the ball. When we're on the ball. So when Liverpool lose the ball.
No. Don't give. Come on, Kazi. People do not give me that.
Does it help? Does it help that he has to play centre mid?
No, I understand that, but I'm not talking. I have never said complain about it. Like I've never said Trent should be there because I understand the requirements and stuff. I'm complaining when Trent is freaking there and he's not defending. When people literally walk by him and he does not track them back. Nobody can defend that for me.
It's
sorry.
A myth. It's a myth.
It is not a myth. I've showed you that in the freaking pub in Vegas. That's
one time though, bro. Like he does it like, you know what I mean? He's an average defender, but he can't defend is a load of shite.
Okay, that's what I'm saying though. Like an Anza example, I'm not saying he cannot defend. I'm saying he can defend.
Yeah.
But he has to put in the defense. That's what aggravates me more, because Sparky says Trent is a lazy defender. Feel like his defensive rate, his defensive effort is down, not his defensive skills. It's the same dude that we had 2-3 years ago. And he's not suddenly he's 25. He's not going to suddenly become the best defender in the world. The dude can defend when he wants. I just feel like he does not put the effort into defending that he used to.
And that's okay. That's fair.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's a fair comment in that sense. But then there's a part where you go, fucking hell, lads, you get the ball away again and bouncing back 60 yards here because you lads can't fucking pass a ball. So I think there's a balance what you get out of the team, and the manager's asking him to do that. As much as
don't we want him in the back still, then though? If he's, because then he can't do a 60-yard pass from midfield.
Okay,
out of bounds.
So completely fair to say you want him back right back, and that's a completely valid argument. But then you don't get the goals that you do against City and Fulham. When he's contributing and winning your points up further up the field. So you don't get those ones. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's a balance to all of this. Yeah. You get an average right back, but he's going to get you 25 goal contributions. What do you want? Because I want the 25 goals contributions every season.
I want a system that kind of like covers that, I guess.
Of course.
What another thing that isn't being talked about his defensive drop is because of his position changes this year. In this game he's playing here, in this game he's playing here. As somebody who's played football, if you're familiar, when your position keeps changing, your effort also changes because you're like, okay, now am I a midfielder today? Am I a winger? Okay, you see that space open, you run into the midfield. Like, wait a minute, no, today I'm a wing back. It's a mess. But that does not mean he's a bad player. It does not mean he's our problem, and it definitely does not mean he's positionless and all that. You know, the too harsh. It's way too. It's just an easy scapegoat to have because we don't want to talk about anybody else. Yeah. And I'm in full disagreement. I think whatever manager comes in looks at Trent and says, "What do I do with this guy?"
Played
and builder
is confusing his defensive rate. I'm really wondering this now.
Because
I do not understand this argument. He's playing an inverted right back instead of a right back, correct?
Right.
And he plays a right back. So when you have the left winger in front of you, the left winger pulls a move and gets past you. I don't give a fuck if you're a center forward. You track it back. You do not jog back and say.
But the word that Trent doesn't track back is not actually true. It's not actually true that Trent doesn't track back. This is not true.
I will make a highlight reel of times that I've seen Trent
because he's 70 yards further forward. He's 70 yards further forward.
No,
he's fucking on the edge of our box, and our lads give the ball away.
I'm not going to get into this morning, but you guys are making a case of. I'll make a highlight reel and show it to you guys. Or if you guys
I can make a highlight reel of Virgil. I can make a highlight reel of Virgil not tracking back after a corner. Doesn't mean he's a bad defender.
Yeah.
No, you're a right back.
And I've seen this
your own freaking side playing as a right back. The left winger pulls a move that you bid on, which is fine. Any defender can bite on a move. If you're not tracking back and hoping Konate covers your ass 90% of the time, you are not putting defensive effort. Go back, watch the Arsenal game. I can tell you 3-4 games to go back and watch. And then you can watch him jog back after he bites on the move. Do not give me this position.
This sounds personal.
You guys are giving him an excuse.
It's an absolute vendetta. And by the way, since Sparky's commenting here, right? Walker always runs back. Walker doesn't play the inverted right back role. John Stones does it. John Stones plays centre mid for them. Walker's basically a pace merchant. I've seen him get torn apart.
I find Walker similar to Gomez, where he can take really bad defensive positions, but he's so freaking fast, he makes up for it.
To say Trent's lazy and all that, bro, I just think it's fucking so harsh. I think, honestly, bro, it's so harsh.
The Trent conversation, especially I see it on social media, it's like, you know, this social media thing where somebody says something and everybody agrees and then it becomes a thing.
No.
That became a thing, and I'm like, hold on, no, Trent.
Right, you guys gotta go watch those games. I'll tell you 3 games to watch, and you guys go watch those games.
And I'll tell you the game last time we just fucking played, where we sent all our players up on a corner and left Conor Bradley back on his own, and we lose the FA Cup game because no one could be asked tracking back. And like Virgil van Dijk.
I don't know what the hell we were doing there going for it.
To be labelled all over the media. Like Trent last year when he's in the England squad getting asked questions, going, how do you think your form's been this year? I've seen Kieran Trippier get fucking ripped apart all season. No one's asking him. Oh, Trent can't get in the England squad. If you've seen the manager, he's thick as fucking 2 pig shit. That's on the manager for not picking him. But all I'm saying is, mate, I will take he's an average defender, Tim. I'll take it. But to say lack of effort and he's lazy and that, I think that's so harsh. I just think he's an average defender. To say lack of effort.
Okay, his defending has gone down.
Because he's playing centre mid.
He's
playing centre mid, Tim.
Dude,
that's on the manager.
Ozzy, you're giving me this stuff like I understand he's playing. First of all, he's not playing center mid. He's playing an inverted right back. And I am not talking about him being out of position. I am not saying his defending in terms of where is Trent. He should be there. He's the right back. That's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about when he's already back there defending. That's the only times I'm talking about over here. So when he gets passed on, and then he does not track. He jogs back instead of covering that space. You can go back, watch the highlights of games we conceded. Watch what Trent is doing.
Do you think there's a part, though, mate? And probably the last thing on Trent, because we'll have to move on because we're here all day. Do you think there's a part where the manager goes, don't track back as much, hang on, and we'll cheat a bit and rely on your centre-halves? So when you win the ball back like a Virgil or Konate, you're in a position where you can receive the ball and we can counter. Do you think there's an argument there for that?
I'll buy that, but not when we're like all back defending. I mean, I'm talking about we're back defending. Like we're defending. It's not. I understand what you're saying, like we do with Mo and stuff like that. You know what? Don't track back. You're going to be the counter guy or whatever. I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah,
but that's not the scenarios I'm talking about over here.
But does that help Trent Alexander-Arnold when Mo Salah doesn't track back?
Because I used to see this in tactics.
But I used to see that's what I'm saying. I think it is tactical. Sometimes I'm not saying Trent is an average defender. He's a 6 out of 10 defensively. But what he does go on the other side, is just night and day.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to find a way to get the best out of him. I just get
you hate
my
to see
aggravation with him is I
Yeah.
feel like ever since we kind of teased him with the midfielder thing, that has been his mindset, and he's kind of given up on the defense.
So that brings back the question, Tim. Would you sell Trent this summer? Because that's why this all started.
I know.
Yeah, it depends on the money. I would think about it. I wouldn't be like, there's no way in hell.
So Madrid come in knocking for 80 million, you would let him go?
No, not 80 million. That's just not.
Let's put a 1 in front of it.
Dude, I mean, you guys are throwing the 70, 80 around. You can barely get people.
I mean, for
the market is obnoxious. You know what I mean?
Virgil's sense is different. Virgil's 32, year left on his deal.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know what I mean? Is it twilight? If he wins the Prem, he might even look.
Trent, I mean, for Madrid to come for Trent and make it even halfway attractive, we got to be talking 120, 150, right?
So 120, 130, you would sell Trent.
I would definitely consider and see what's out there, yeah. See, okay, and honestly, let's go to the Sunday game because we can, we can go for hours. But a lot more people would say, I would consider it if it wasn't, like from the youth team and he wasn't like, the city. Like, kind of like represents the club. He's the vice captain and everything like that.
For our other fans out there, right? Because I get this, because he's a Scouser. It's nothing to do with him being a Scouser. I don't give a fuck where he's from.
Not only because he's a Scouser, but he's the guy like came from the youth team. He kind of like, face of the club in some ways.
I also don't give a fuck.
But he's earned it. He isn't the face of the club because he came
from. A lot
of
people do.
Yeah, like the big debate, and I see this on Twitter a lot. Oh, just because he's a Scouser, but he's earned it. What Trent did in the last 3 seasons with leading league in assists, all he's most chances created last season. He's earned it. He could be from fucking North Korea. He's earned it. It's not. It has nothing to do with where he's from. You're not saying that. No, you're not saying that. No, you're not saying that.
You can't even consider selling Trent. That makes no sense.
Well, let's put it this way: every player is sellable, but as Liverpool, we should not sell Trent. That's where I'm going with it.
I can understand that opinion. I just don't understand the opinion of.
I wouldn't sell a gifted football player like that. That's me. I don't care.
Yeah, you're like looking at it more like potential football player. And like I say, I understand your guys' argument. I'm just saying I would sit down and say I would consider anybody's price. If you're considering Van Dijk, if you're considering Mo, I would consider Trent as well. I understand the age thing that you're saying, Kazi, but I would still consider it.
If Trent's plateaued and this is his level, he's still one of the best players in the world. And we all expect him to still rise. We all expect him to still go. Right now, he's still one of the best players. I seen an interview last week with Kyle Walker on the Rio Ferdinand podcast saying he's the best passer of the ball he's seen. And he plays with Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, no shit.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And I really think they find a spot for him. Maybe it's in a different system or whatever. I really think the whole defensive rate going down is more mental than anything else. He got teased with the midfield thing, which, I mean, he said in the interview that's what he wants to play.
I'll play him in the 6.
He really wants to do.
I wouldn't sign defensive mid. I'll play him in the 6. That's just me.
I don't want a 6 that doesn't track back. I like the 3-5-2 or something like that, where you can, you know what I mean? Then you have cover for him that way.
And that's fair as well. The reason why I say 6 is not that he doesn't track back. It's giving him the space when you've got the ball. It's giving him the space to go, well, there you go. Then this is why you're here. Go and ping a 45.
Yeah, he automatically drops back to pick up the ball and stuff. No, I hear you there. I just want...
And he gets that space. Do you know what I mean?
Every attacking midfielder will just like walk into the box would be my fear.
I disagree, but you know what I mean? So but anyway, we're playing Brighton, we've got a game on Sunday.
Yes, I guess we do have a game on Sunday. So real quick with the injury news. Let's see. Obviously, Jones, I don't even know. Like, he might make the bench, I guess. Gravenberch is back. Konate should be fine. I guess the biggest question that I'll ask you guys is, I think everything else fills by itself, right? Endo, Mac, Szoboszlai, we're thinking in the midfield, right?
Probably.
The front, Diaz, Gakpo, Mo. So that automatically fills itself, right? So I guess the question is, Trent is not back yet. So Connor Bradley for right back.
Yeah.
So the left back, Gomez or Costas is probably the question here.
It's Gomez.
Yeah, it's probably Gomez, but I would play Costas.
Yeah, it's gonna be Gomez. Wouldn't mind Costas, but it'll be Gomez just because of his efforts the last few games when he played left.
He might do Gomez now and then do Costas for Sheffield midweek, I think. But Nunes is available. Darwin is back. So I think he might do. Yeah, I think he'll do Gomez now. Costas midweek definitely, and give Gomez a week.
I honestly think he does Gomez, and then like Costas comes in at 60 or something, and Gomez switches to the right. It almost looks like we can never get 90 out of Bradley. I don't think he's played a 90 yet, right?
He did it against Slavia Prague in the second leg, but he barely made a run in the second half because it was over. So that was the one time he's played 90, but it wasn't really a 90 because it was a training session in the second half. So, but yeah, I agree.
So I almost feel like Gomez starts and then he switches over. Costas comes in like 50, 60 or something like that. And then, you get your rest on that way. And then, like midweek, you play Robertson, kind of an ordeal. In national games, I don't know. How much did he play at the end? No, I did not watch the second England game. Did he play?
Didn't watch any of it. I know he played, but I just didn't watch him.
I'm asking the wrong guy.
No idea.
Did you watch the England game?
How Salah could have played for England? I have no idea.
He played him a good 24 or 28 minutes. He got some time, but they didn't have to do shit, so he'll be okay.
Marcus is 80 minutes, really?
Is that combined over the two?
That has to be combined.
In the first game,
right?
In the Brazil game? Was it Brazil?
In Brazil, he played a bit in the second. Here, let's pull it.
He came in maybe 30 or so, I think, in the Brazil game. I didn't see an appearance, but I don't
80 minutes. This is the problem. It's 80 minutes over a week, 2 weeks of football.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's nothing. Do you know what I mean? And again, I don't want him left back. I don't know who they're going to start though, because they've got Matoma. I think Matoma's out, isn't he? And then I think they've got probably Pascal Gross maybe on that wing. They might do Gross. I'm not sure. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It is a tough one because they're a talented team. They're really good.
Like if it was like Sheffield, I would say Costas all day, right? Like you want him winging, bombing down the left. I feel like Brighton is a bit. You got to make sure you cover your butt too.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, and I think that's fair.
79 minutes on Wednesday.
On Belgium.
Damn.
Yeah, because John Stones got injured.
Sparky, I guess. I doubted Sparky. I'm sorry. Yeah,
John Stones got injured and Gomez came on.
Oh.
Yeah, Gomez, because Stones didn't train, did he? Stones hasn't trained for City. Now for the Walker. So, I think Gomez might start left back. I would do Costas personally. I think if depending on how much Robertson's out, but by the sound of the manager, he's not really out for long, day by day. He might be in team training next week, kind of thing. So we'll see. It's interesting, but I agree with you. Brighton are a good side. I don't think we beat Brighton in the last two games at Anfield. 3-3 last year.
Yeah, because I was reading something about we don't have the best stats against them in the last couple of seasons.
And that Sossard game when Sossard got the hat-trick, I remember being we should have been 5-0 down in the first half. I think Brighton.
That's the one I think I was following. Is that 3-3 or 3-4 at home or something like that?
We're 2-0 down. We're 2-0 down. We came back to 3-2 and then Sossard scored late for the hat-trick.
I remember watching that on my phone at a track meet. And
so is this the game De Zerbi tries to use as his audition to be a Liverpool manager?
I fucking hope not.
You're not big on the De Zerbi name, by the way?
Oh my god, no.
No. So which name are you big on right now?
The what I've seen, again, I can only go off stats and stuff like that. I like Almiron out of Sporting Lisbon. I actually quite like him because but he does play 3-5-2 as well, 3-4-3 off the ball.
I was watching something about him in terms of his tactics and formation and stuff like that. Profile fits as well, but
I think there's an argument for Brighton, and this is the Brighton's credit, by the way, that you just when players and managers go there, you just get Brightoned, where they make you look really good, and you go somewhere else and you're shite. And I think you can just get Brightoned a bit because they play a tactic which you can look really good in the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Like a Caicedo and stuff like that. And you actually look plays over left Brighton, like a Cucurella, for example, and just you haven't really got on to do anything. McAllister's the obvious one, but he has the World Cup that Liverpool can base it on as well. High intense pressure games, and also 35 million to 100 million is a quite big difference. Agreed, Liverpool still fancy Caicedo, of course he did, but I think there is a part where you can go there and get Brightoned a bit. Neil Mopay.
Graham Potter got Brightoned.
Yeah.
He went to Chelsea though. He got Chelsea more.
But in fairness to Potter, I think he was at Östersunds in Sweden, and he got them in a really good Europa League run. So that's why they went there. But I agree with you. I just think you go there sometimes, you can get Brightoned a bit. Like they've still got Lewis Dunk playing centre half, and he's been there for 25 years. And you're like, you know what I mean? There's still this. Matoma might be that player. Matoma might go to City or somewhere like that and just get Brightoned a bit, and you're like, he's a bit shit, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know. Yeah. Because there's also a part of this. I used to think about this about Robbie Keane. It's okay to win 1-3 at Spurs. You can't win 1-3 at Liverpool. So it's okay for Brighton to win 1-3, and we see your highlights and you go, fucking hell, that Matone was good, innit? Fucking hell, Robbie Keane scored again. Yeah, but he didn't score the last 2 weeks. But he's just scored one now, and it was a great goal. So there's that part where you might go, and it's okay to go and win 1-3 at Brighton. You can't win 1-3 at Liverpool.
Yeah, kind of like I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him, so maybe this is not a fair comparison. But in terms of like a player that you're talking about, like a Wilfred Zaha or somebody like that, like you know what I mean, like it's gonna get you a point. Getting wings. I'm not comparing him and saying they're the same or anything like that. I haven't seen enough of Mitoma, but in terms of the type of player you're talking about, like where occasionally they're gonna win a game and you're like, thank you, that's all we needed, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's the part as well for like Zaha. Pickford's always the one. Pickford's a great example. Pickford played for England, number 1. Everyone goes, he's a great keeper, you know. But I see Arsenal struggling for keepers. Don't want him. United needed a new keeper. Didn't sign him. So who doesn't want him then? Because he must be shit. Because why aren't none of the top clubs going for him then? Because they all needed keepers. They took a fucking keeper on loan from Brentford, and he might win the league for them in Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Like for example, Newcastle need a keeper. Pope's out. Did they go and sign Jordan Pickford? No.
Yeah.
Because they don't fancy him. So I know he's a Sunderland lad, and that's a different argument. But again, I just think there's always those type of players, mate, who we see on highlight reels, and you think, fucking hell, he looks all right. He might do a job, but he's not really that good.
That's how I feel about De Zerbi. Don't want him near the club. I am there. I see the debate now. Yes, I was like, oh, now that Xabi Alonso is out, is De Zerbi the number 1 contender? I'm like, oh, hell no. No. Let's not do that.
Wait, wasn't Brighton 4-0 down a few weeks ago to fucking like Luton or someone?
Yeah.
Didn't Luton
they got hammered a couple of weeks ago.
Brighton actually struggling. If you look at their results, they're struggling. They had a very strong start to the season. De Zerbi came out and said, it doesn't matter who we sell, we're still the same team. Ever since he said that, it reminded me of like the Rafa Benitez fucked. And if everything went down, that's the exact same thing that happened. As soon as he said that, the shit went to the shit. And they're nothing special now. So I don't see why that name should be thrown around in the Liverpool debate. I am all for the Nagelsmann conversation. I'd have that debate. Not necessarily, oh my God, let's go for him. But I'd have that debate. But I wouldn't have the De Zerbi debate.
Ryan says, I now want Alonso only because he doesn't want us. There's like some underlying problems there.
It's like that life, isn't it? It's like that girl in school. Didn't want you anyway.
He's a fan of toxic relationships. On
Monday's podcast, I asked the boys, and I specifically, I almost like knew this was going to happen. Like, I did not ask them names. I more was asking in terms of like characteristics they want in the new manager, temperament-wise, tactical-wise, and stuff like that. So let me ask you guys this, since Sparky Parky brings up Pep. Would you guys be
I'll take Guardiola.
Interested with it, excited about it, not thrilled about it?
Yeah, I'll take Guardiola. No.
What?
Not the guy who makes Jurgen Klopp.
Good understudy.
The guy who makes Jurgen Klopp tea and toast every morning. No, I'm okay with it. I'm fine.
I am all for Pep, not Guardiola.
Oh,
I am all for Pep, but it's not going to happen. It is what it is. That's why
are you for Pep?
I believe it. Okay, so personally, I'm boring, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the way Pep is working with Jurgen, gives me the feeling that once Jurgen leaves, everything stays the same, but the man changes. Okay. It'll be the same tactics. It'll be the same ideology. It'll be the same dressing room. The only thing that changes here is we go from Jurgen to Pep. So I'm more for stability, keeping it the same. And I feel like he's earned it. I feel like I think he goes on to next season to Ajax, or he goes on somewhere and he does great, and we're like, well, shit. We should have kept. No, Thiago's done. I'm not even talking about that. So I think if he stays, the stability remains, and we could see a lot of those players that were like, hey, maybe we'll leave if Jurgen leaves. If Pep stays, they're like, okay, the regime didn't really change. Everything's still the same. Just a thought.
But I understand that. I guess my biggest worry is there are certain people who are good as number 2.
100%.
But then they become number 1, and they're like, "Whoa, yeah, I didn't realize you did all this." Like,
Zidane was the number 2 to Ancelotti for 3 years, and then he became the number 1, and he became the guy.
Paul Clement was the number 2 for Ancelotti, and then he went to Swansea, and
that's different. Jose Mourinho was the number 2 for quite some time, and then he became the number 1 at Porto. It's not necessarily always going to work.
Yeah,
but I'm just a fan of stability. But if you tell me Pep or Nagelsmann, I'm going Nagelsmann. But here's the question. Pep goes to Ajax, takes the team back to where they belong. They do great for 2 seasons. Would you take Pep at Liverpool if he's proven?
Yeah.
I think that's a debate we'll have in a couple of yees if it works out. I wouldn't push for him crazy.
Good, because that means whoever we got is not working out. In 2 years, you're looking for somebody new, man.
So am I going to have to go out and give a silly prediction that I think we are going to have some managerial changes in the next few years that'll be more than one? Because I'm worried we're going to make the wrong call with De Zerbi. I'm very worried.
It's not De Zerbi. Come on, it can't be De Zerbi. Come on, seriously?
Who knows?
It scares me.
It just can't be. He got bounced around from club to club. He goes to Brighton. He's done all right for 2 years, and then we're going to give him the Liverpool job. He's been bounced around. There's no stability out of De Zerbi. Like, what? You know what I mean? I just no.
I know, this all goes back to I kind of have faith in Edwards.
Controversial opinion. I'm going to give you a nice controversial that you can clip up for your shorts, right? I'll take Gary O'Neill over De Zerbi.
Whatever.
Oh, with him? Gary O'Neill worked with Jurgen Klopp. Gary O'Neill worked with you because he did. He was the under-21 manager for under Liverpool. You know what I mean? And I'd rather take him over that fucking fraud at Brighton.
Jack Spearing.
Jay Spearing?
Jay Spearing.
Jack. Jay is not. I'll tell you that.
Jack Spearing will be a good one.
I think Brighton, by the way, and again, Brighton play really good footy, and I've no problem at all. But I've seen them get bounced all over the park this season. Didn't they lose 3-0 to Fulham like 3 weeks ago?
Okay, let's hope we don't eat these words. But as we head out over here, let's leave with some projections. Obviously, we're going to be here for the pre-match once the lineup comes out over here. We pretty much know the lineup. This is a rare occasion, I feel like. We almost know most of the lineup kind of a deal coming from an international break, especially. Kazi, we'll start with you. Give me an early prediction.
I don't know. I just thought I haven't wanted Liverpool to batter the team more than this Brighton side just to shut fans up about De Zerbi. Like, just to fucking go out and whack them 5-0 and just go for it now. Shut up. There's your fraud of a manager that you want for next year. So, I think Liverpool will win. I think we'll win 2-0. But I never in my life. Just so you know, if Liverpool starts scoring 4s and 5s, you won't find a happier man in the world than me. Honestly.
But what is your prediction?
2-0 Liverpool. I think it'll be hard because I do think Brighton can cause, because they have caused us problems, and I think it'll be a tough game. And I thought we might have more players back. You know what I mean? I did think we would have like 4 or 5 big hitters coming for this one. So I still think you are going to see probably.
Yeah, right. Kind of left with that impression, and it feels like, oh, okay, so he's back. That's about it. It's kind of a thing. But I think we just got to make it a couple more weeks over here before everybody's back in training and stuff. Anan, what is your prediction? Sparky's going with a 2-1 win.
I'll go with the Timuchin special. I'll go with the 3-1. I think we'll concede, but we'll score 3. We'll win the game, and then De Zerbi will fuck off and never talk about the job again, and that'll just get tossed out the window. Because you'll see this if you watch it in the American broadcast, NBC. They are gonna start the broadcast with, "Could this be the man that we got?"
Yeah.
The bullshit they're spewing and pushing right now, and it's pissing me off. And then I read this stupid article yesterday. It says, "Is Arteta the perfect man to replace Jurgen?" I'm like, guys. NBC Sports, what are you doing? Like, what is going on?
I do want to say, by the way, if Brighton beat Arsenal next week, De Zerbi can have the job.
I can get behind that. He's earned it. I can get behind that.
Man, you guys are up and down.
We've had our predictions. I want your City Arsenal prediction, Timuchin.
Prediction?
Prediction for City and Arsenal.
Prediction, I think City wins.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I saw you guys.
But I think City wins.
I saw you guys in the debate, and I agree with Kazi. I want Arsenal to win. I don't want City to go on a run. I do not. Like, it scares the shit out of me if City go on a run at the last quarter of the season, because that's it. It's a wrap. We've been there. He's traumatized by it. He said it literally. He's like, I'm traumatized. And I think we're all on the same page. But I think City absolutely batters Arsenal. Arteta just panics when he's playing City. And it's like this kid seeing his hero again. He's like, oh my God. And then he gets shit on. And it scares me. It scares me. But I think City absolutely batters Arsenal. I want Arsenal to win. I have never prayed for an Arsenal win. I want Arsenal to win. But I think City batters them. And I'm scared.
I'm going to say I think City batter them. But this is when I thought Walker and Stones were fit. So if you're Arsenal, you've got to fancy it now.
You're absolutely right, actually. Walker and Stones are not fit.
So Walker is not there either?
No, Walker and Stones haven't trained yet.
And
But they
Kevin
might
De
train
Bruyne,
tomorrow.
it's Kevin De Bruyne has got a little bit of uncomfortable
He had a
pain.
full training session today.
Yeah.
He trained fully today. So
Oh, he trained. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. So that was bullshit. Okay.
But Walker and Stones is the hard one because how important they are. So that's where, if you're Arsenal now, the one thing that I would say is it's a bit like when City came last week. You had the chance to beat Liverpool there because Liverpool's players were out, but Liverpool battered you. So there's an argument now if you're Arsenal, you've got to go. Then you've got to go. You've got to fancy yourselves and no Walker and Stones. So that's what might even it out. But the one thing, and I agree with Anan, if Arsenal fancy themselves in that game and they make a couple of mistakes, City will punish it badly. So there might be, you know what I mean? It's difficult. I don't know who they're going to play right back, really, with no Walker. Does he do Stones right back and does the inverted role, maybe? But Stones is out. So that's what I'm saying. It actually gets to a stage where they're really struggling. Rico Lewis, maybe, might do it.
Probably Lewis.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. So it evens it out.
But that's the thing you don't get with Lewis, right? Like you don't get Kyle Walker making up for mistake speeds is what you're like missing out on. And I think that's a big thing.
Lose out on pace.
Yeah.
Kyle Walker offers nothing other than pace and hoop balls. I mean, no offense, but you just lose out on the pace.
Pace gets him out of jail a lot.
But it's a lot of pace. I'll give him that.
Oh, yeah, it's way too much. Yeah, it's too
much pace. Too much pace for one man. You know, it's too much pace for one man. Give me some of that pace. But yeah.
So maybe if the Brighton game goes well after the post match, we'll jump straight into a watch along and like watch that game as well. So
I don't think my emotions can take that. I really don't.
I can't watch that game. I can't watch that game, guys.
Oh, really? Like that could be like a good watch along game. So as long as ours goes smooth, otherwise it's going to be a painful game to watch.
A couple of weeks ago when Chelsea went 1-0 up against them, I went out and had a round of golf and I can't watch the second half. Chelsea were winning 1-0. I was like, I can't play this. I can't watch. I've seen this script before. And then as soon as it went 1-1, I was like, oh, I've seen it.
I usually, if I see a score like that, I don't even turn the game on because I know I'm going to jinx it. It's just, stupid superstition there. But hey, we'll be back Sunday before the game once the kickoff comes. So we learned a lot today. We are signing De Zerbi as the new manager. We're selling Trent.
Don't say that.
We're keeping Mo and Van Dijk is what we're doing. Or actually, you know what? We're selling everybody 70 here, 80 there, 100 there, and then we're giving Edwards like 250 million and saying, "Go play."
Tim has turned us into a Turkish bazaar. Everybody, take a player. Come on, $50.
Just sold us out. We've sold everyone. Gary O'Neill's the manager.
Hey,
Gary O'Neill's the manager. Okay, Gary O'Neill's
the fucking
mighty gonna bring him in somehow.
Incoming, guys. Get ready.
Zerbi's mighty red. Just get everyone in and just give them a job. There you go.
And Trent is playing in goal. That's what we're doing. Well, that's it for us this morning. You guys have an excellent weekend. We'll see you guys Sunday morning. Take care.